Junior guard from Greenville, South Carolina, number 13, Julia Bucci. Sophomore forward from Highland, Michigan, number 22, Grace Goodenough. And a junior guard from Springfield, Pennsylvania, number 43, Billy Sillo.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Keating Sports Center in Chicago, Illinois. Illinois Tech women's basketball here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Tonight, the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks play host to the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors in NAC women's basketball action. Chris Rouse here on the call. We're getting ready to tip this off in a hurry, so we'll get to the starting lineups in a hurry. The Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors come in with an 11-game winning streak, 16-4, 11-1 in conference play. They've already clinched their spot in the NAC Women's Conference Tournament. They're led by Coach Clay Knippel in his 20th season, and here are the starting five for the green-clad Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. First, number 5, Mac Hoganson. Number 13, Kara Troxel. Number 21, Sam Leisman. Number 22, Maggie Scott. And number 44, Margie Stevens. Meanwhile, the Scarlet Hawks are led by Coach Carissa Sane, her 4th season here with Illinois Tech after 8 with the University of Chicago. And the starting five for the Scarlet Hawks will be number 1, Kaya Jones. Number 2, Camden Joko. Number 13, Julia Bucci. Number 22, Grace Goodenough. And number 43, Allie Sillo, as Wisconsin Lutheran begins the game going left to right on your screen. And here we are in Chicago. Happy you're joining us here on a Wednesday evening on the near south side of Chicago. Wisconsin Lutheran going baseline with Margie Stevens missing. Leisman getting the rebound. Swing around the horn for the Warriors. 3 on the way from Hoganson and cash in the tray for Mac Hoganson, the junior at Neenah, Wisconsin, opens the scoring, makes it 3-0 Warriors. Wisconsin Lutheran, as I mentioned, they've won 11 straight. They are averaging 73 points per game in their 11-game winning streak. That is 10 more than they actually average on the season. There's Kaya Jones feeding Grace Goodenough down low for the easy 2, and the Scarlet Hawks get on the board, making it 3-2 in the early going. Ball fed to the baseline for Wisconsin Lutheran. They swing it around the horn. Wisconsin Lutheran with 2 well-decorated conference athletes and right on cue. That's the player I was thinking about. 4-time NAC Player of the Week, Sam Leisman. She is 2nd in the conference in scoring, 1st in efficiency, meaning field goal percentage, and a 4-time NAC Player of the Week. And Leisman will go to the line here with 8:51 to go in the first quarter, and Leisman buries the first. Happy you're joining us here in Chicago for Illinois Tech women's basketball. One final home game for the Scarlet Hawks after this one. That'll be on February the 17th. But the task at hand, looking to win against the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors here in NAC Conference play. Illinois Tech 4-16, 3-9 in NAC Conference play this season. Kaya Jones on the drive, right-hand floater off the heel of the rim, and a foul as Kara Troxel just ran under Jones's legs, and that'll send Kaya to the free throw line for the first time this evening. First foul against Troxel, as we mentioned earlier. Now Kaya Jones will step to the stripe for the Scarlet Hawks. Jones this season a 70% free throw shooter, 42 of 60 if you're scoring at home. Her 61st attempt is good. Jones this season tied for 2nd on the Scarlet Hawks roster in scoring at 9 a game with Chloe Trilla, both behind Julia Bucci, who averages 15 a game. Jones splits a pair of free throws. Loose ball out at the top of the free throw arc. It is recovered by Hoganson for Wisconsin Lutheran. Maggie Scott, senior out of Yorkville, Illinois, out of the front court. Great ball movement here for Wisconsin Lutheran. Each possession, the ball is going around the horn for the Warriors. They're trying to feed Leisman. Instead, she feeds Scott for the outside 3. That'll bounce right to the Scarlet Hawks bench. And that's appropriate, as it'll be Scarlet Hawks ball. I mentioned Coach Carissa Sane here in her 4th season with Illinois Tech. After 8 seasons, not too far south from here at University of Chicago. Had the privilege of seeing a number of those games for Coach Sane when she led UChicago to the NCAA Division III tournament, led by players such as Mia Farrow, Ola Obi, and Miranda Burt. Taylor Lake as well. Coach saying not happy with that last traveling violation against her team. She's saying she wants Kaya Jones to get more touches on the ball. And as a result, here comes Rael Sandifer into the ball game for the Scarlet Hawks, along with Barrett Rusing. Scarlet Hawks in a bit of a, I wouldn't say that was a 1-3-1 staggered zone, but it was looked to be more of a 1-2-2. Leisman gets it down low, spins inside, left it short. Leisman gets her on board, and a hold will be a sideline inbound. Foul goes against Bucci. So that'll be the first against the Scarlet Hawks leading scorer. Bucci this season is averaging 15 a game for the Scarlet Hawks team. Illinois Tech as a team averages 54 a game. Currently on a 5-game losing streak, and they fall asleep on the inbound play. Easy lay-in for Kara Troxel, who's got a foul and now her first basket of the game, 2 points. 7-3, Wisconsin Lutheran. Here is Julia Bucci. Thought she was going to go for a quick escape dribble jumper. Instead, she heaves one over Barrett Rusing a little bit early for football passes. I know the Super Bowl is Sunday, so everybody sort of got that football fever. But the regular chest pass would have been better there for the Scarlet Hawks. And now here comes Wisconsin Lutheran on offense. Clay Knippel in his 20th season for Wisconsin Lutheran team, looking for what will be their third straight conference tournament, conference championship. Ball deflected off the rim, run down by Rusing for Illinois Tech. Here come the Scarlet Hawks. Good swing of the ball to Bucci. Wide open three. Best look Bucci's had thus far. And Bucci buries a quick three. Makes it 7-6. Wisconsin Lutheran is now the Scarlet Hawks. Back within one, defending the ball. Rusing got a hand on that pass, but left Hoganson open on the retreat pass. Three missed and run down by Leisman. Bit of a slow developing play there. Jaden Hill to the basket off the bench for Wisconsin Lutheran. Missed it. Leisman, volleyball, tapping it to herself, lays it up and in. Sam Leisman with 4. And that was just an easy rebound. Leisman, about 3 or 4 volleyball taps to herself, finally reeled it in and laid it up and in for 2. Bucci driving baseline. Top of the key three for good enough is good. And they're actually going to say she was on the line, so it's a 2. That'll make it 9-8. And a high-octane 4 minutes here when you're talking about a team for Illinois Tech that scores only 54 a game. But up against Wisconsin Lutheran, they average 64 on the season, but in the midst of their 11-game win streak, averaging 73. Hoganson to the basket. Every part of the rim and the roll. Mac Hoganson matches her jersey number. She has 5. And Illinois Tech, nice dribble drive there for Jones, but unable to handle for Illinois Tech. I don't know what it is about those passes to the far side of the court, but it's a little bit too much air under the ball intended for Rusing. As Coach Carissa saying, going with a bit of a line change here. Instructions for the Scarlet Hawks team. Also a bit of confusion as Joko and Rusing not really sure what zone they should be looking for defensively here. But now the Scarlet Hawks able to match up. Doing a good job chasing the ball here in the early going are the hosts wearing the white uniforms, the Scarlet Hawks. Jumper is good for Haley Ott. Haley Ott had 11 when these two teams met a year ago on February the 11th. That was a 94-38 Wisconsin Lutheran win. Their 4th win all time against Illinois Tech in 4 meetings. It's the 5th meeting between the two programs. Joko for 3. Unable to hit, and a foul as Leisman got the rebound, and that's just a unnecessarily reach around from Anna Jones. You can even hear Carissa saying in the background saying, once she had the ball, you don't need any more contact than that. Just make her feel the presence. No need for the foul. And Jones picks up the foul. 13-8 Wisconsin Lutheran in possession. Chris Rouse here on the call from Chicago. Illinois Tech women's basketball on the Scarlet Hawks broadcast network on YouTube Live. Margie Stevens kicks it out. 3 missing everything from Haley Ott. Nice catch and grab rebound for Lexi Smith. Lexi Smith is one of the top 3-point shooters in the NAC. Didn't have to quite shoot it from distance there as she gets on the board with an easy lay-in. Rusing. Instructions from the sideline were just dribble. Abigail Marino, who came in on the last stoppage, missing. Rebound for Wisconsin Lutheran. Warriors into the front court. Cross-court skip pass to the elbow, and Margie Stevens is wide open. That was all created by the skip pass as Illinois Tech had to spread out defensively to stop the ball. And as a result, they left Stevens wide open at the elbow. Marino being harassed on the perimeter by Scott. Great defense by Maggie Scott. And now a steal for Wisconsin Lutheran. Lexi Smith pushing the 3-on-2. Out to Scott. Finally, she'll get a shot and knocks it down. Scott had done a great job of being unselfish, trying to create spacing for Wisconsin Lutheran. They finally feed Scott. She hits the jumper, makes it 19-8 Wisconsin Lutheran. And Coach Carissa Sainz is going to take a quick timeout. It's a 30-second timeout with the Scarlet Hawks trailing by 11 here in the first quarter. And Carissa Sainz looks like she's doing a good job. Looked like she was getting what she wanted early on with her team matching up with the ball in the half court. But these last few minutes, Wisconsin Lutheran with the skip passes and also using their defense to spread Illinois Tech out, or using their defense to create offense, and then in the half court, spreading the Illinois Tech defense out with great ball movement around the perimeter. Led to Coach Carissa Sainz taking the early timeout. 19-8 our score with 3:39 to go in the first quarter. Illinois Tech men's basketball will be in action on Saturday at 1 p.m. taking on the Marion Sabres. We'll have that for you on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. And, of course, Friday, it'll be men's volleyball action as they'll take on Wittenberg right here at 7 p.m. at the Keating Center. Camden Joko over to Kaya Jones. Jones had room to shoot. Instead, she goes to Bucci. Bucci takes the body and draws a foul, as we'll get 13-on-13 crime here with Troxel fouling Bucci. And that'll send Bucci to the line. Second foul against Troxel, who actually is responsible for both Wisconsin Lutheran fouls to this point in the ball game. And that'll send Bucci to the stripe. Bucci with a 69% percentage. I don't know why I can't spit that out tonight. 69 is the percentage for Bucci this season. Prior to that free throw, 57 of 82, now 58 of 83, and 59 of 84 as she makes a perfect trip for the Scarlet Hawks at the line. 5 for Bucci, 1-3 zone for Illinois Tech with Joko sort of staggering it into a 2-3. There's that great ball movement around the perimeter for Wisconsin Lutheran. Troxel maybe held it a little bit too long. Stevens passed it to the corner where maybe they were a bit too unselfish. 3 is no good. Rebounded by Allie Sillo, the junior out of Springfield, Pennsylvania. Jones to Bucci. Guarded by Troxel, who's out there with 2 fouls. Bucci for 3. Almost a wedgie as the ball bounced out of the corner of the rim. Rebounded by Stevens. Troxel. Up top, nice feed down low to Stevens, who had a great cut back door. Long rebound inside from Haley Ott. I shouldn't say long rebound. It was an easy rebound underneath. Ott had a long run to the basket to get the rebound and cleaned up for the easy lay-in and score. Good enough. Around to Joko, got her shot blocked, and then the ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Scarlet Hawks. Hoganson and Scott return for Wisconsin Lutheran, replacing Troxel. Be interesting to see how many more minutes we see of Troxel in the second half with the 2 early fouls. In his first half with the 2 early fouls. We still have a whole quarter to go. Joko into Jones. Here's Bucci. Bucci with a pull-up jumper. That's usually her spot. Couldn't get it to go. Rebounded by Sam Leisman. Smith up to Hoganson. And around the horn. Wisconsin Lutheran very quick with those skip passes. Hoganson 3 over Jones. Coach Carissa Sainz was calling for the team. Close out, close out. Jones was slow to react. Hoganson was quick to knock down the 3. 24-10 Wisconsin Lutheran. As Camden Joko gets into the front court for the Scarlet Hawks. Final 100 seconds of the quarter. Joko to Jones. Jones stops on the dime. Tried to draw a foul. but instead she draws a traveling violation as she shuffles her feet. A minute 32 and counting to go as Maggie Scott approaches the timeline. Scott, top of the key. Being very, very unselfish. And Scott, nice feed down low to Liesman. Exhibit A of the unselfishness from 22 and Greed. She dropped it down low to Liesman, and it draws a foul. And that's 2 on Bucci. And Illinois Tech, that will not be helpful to their cause at all as their leading scorer in the game and on the season has 2 fouls early. Liesman makes the first. Wisconsin Lutheran's leading scorer on the season at 16.3 to be exact, leading rebounder at 9 a game. Top 10 in both of those stat categories. Second in the NAC in scoring. 63% from the field is Liesman this season. That's good for first in the NAC, meaning she's the most efficient player from the field amongst all players in the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Sub-Department Women's Basketball. Ali Sillo looking for Joko into that corner. Stagnant are the Scarlet Hawks on offense. Coach Sane was calling for motion, wanted something. Joko will get a top of the key 3 off the heel of the rim and right in the hands of Scott. And here go the Warriors. Scott, nice left-right crossover here. She palmed that one. She was going to try to drop it down low at Jaden Hill, but instead it turned into a hesitation dribble as she turns it over. Clay Knipple was arguing that Scott didn't pick it up, but that was pretty clear. She got a hand underneath it before she tried to drop it off and then put it back down. 26-10. Wisconsin Lutheran lining up in zone defense here. Marino goes right into the zone. It gets blocked. That was Liesman on the rejection. Liesman running the floor. I thought they were going to feed her as she ran down the floor, but Ott decided to redirect traffic for the Warriors. 24 seconds to go in the quarter. There's a feed down low as Scott finds Liesman again. 18-point advantage for the Warriors. 18 seconds to go in the quarter. Joko bounces into the 2-3 zone. Jumper for good enough. Off the heel of the rim. Final 8 seconds as Hoganson gets the board. 5 seconds to go. In the front court for the Warriors. Ott back to Hoganson. Won't even get a shot off with the Warriors, but they get a huge start to this game with an 18-point advantage as they lead it 28-10 after 1. 8 from Mac Hoganson, 8 from Sam Liesman to lead the way for the Warriors. Julia Bucci with 5 for the Scarlet Hawks. Second quarter action on the other side of this break from Chicago on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Illinois Tech women's basketball here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. The Scarlet Hawks trying to recover from a rough start in that first quarter, 28-10 in favor of the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors as we get ready to begin the second quarter. Remember, this is a Wisconsin Lutheran team that comes in with a record of 16-4. They've won 11 straight. They are 11-1 in NAC conference play, 5-1 on the road, and jumping all over the Scarlet Hawks here in Chicago with a 28-10 advantage. Illinois Tech trying to end a 5-game losing streak. But it's going to take an uphill battle for the Scarlet Hawks moving forward in order to adjust and do that. Scarlet Hawks shot 30% in that first quarter, 3 of 10. Wisconsin Lutheran shot 52%. Coach Carissa saying, you could probably hear behind me saying, give her the ball. She wants some more entry feeds. Joko over to Jones. Back to Joko. Sillo, corner 3. That's a good look, but it's well short. It's going to go out of bounds to Wisconsin Lutheran, and it goes to the Warriors. Coach Carissa is saying she wants to attack. She wants the ball inside, and she's just really disappointed. She's sitting right next to me here my broadcast at the broadcast location at the table, and all she was saying was attack. She just wanted the ball to go inside on that last possession as Liesman goes to Hoganson, 3 on the way. That's off the rim. Great job over the top by Hill. Back out to Hoganson, who I thought was going to let it fly, but instead, one of my favorite moves in women's basketball, women's college basketball, the left-right shake, where a lot of players who are wide open and get so excited they don't know if they want to shoot it or drive, and they sort of catch it, shake left-right, then put it down, and that results in a travel. Doesn't matter at D1, D2, or D3 level of women's college basketball. I've seen it plenty of times at other schools locally, UChicago, Chicago State, UIC. Now it's made its way here to the NAC. There's Camden Joko, who gets a kiss off the glass for 2, and that'll hopefully wake up the Scarlet Hawks for Carissa Sane. She is clapping over here at the table or at the bench for the Scarlet Hawks. She was hoping that can fire her team up. They trail 28-12. So you get a bit of a clock issue here with 8:53 to go in the half. Coach Clay Knippel in his 20th season as the head coach of the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. Two very well-experienced coaches here. There's Hill, who pass got deflected by Joko. And now another drive for Jaden Hill. Inside, layup is good for Haley Ott, junior out of Germantown, Wisconsin. Ott has been big early. Remember, I mentioned Ott had 11 when these teams met last year. Wisconsin Lutheran with a 94-38 win in that matchup. Ott already with 8. And a violation as the Scarlet Hawks can call for traveling. Not really sure what the call was there. Maybe Bucci. I think Bucci caught the ball, and I'm looking at the official. She was demonstrative to Coach Chris saying. She was saying that Bucci sort of shuffled the feet when she caught it, and that resulted in a travel. So a bit of the left-right shake, sort of, but Julia didn't put the ball down. Here's a feed inside to Stevens. Tries to spin one off the glass. Instead, misses it. Rebounded by Goodenough. Been a bit of a rough game the last 5 minutes of game action. Wisconsin Lutheran getting bigger minutes, more minutes out of their reserves at the end of that first quarter. Illinois Tech just trying to get the ball to the basket as you see Bucci driving but loses it out of bounds. Loses it out of bounds off of a deflection, so it'll stay with the Scarlet Hawks. As Rusing and Sanderford come in for Illinois Tech, replacing Silo and Joko. Boxing 1 inbound set for Illinois Tech. Rusing was looking for Sanderford, and it was stolen by Hill as Wisconsin Lutheran lined up in a 1-2-2 zone. Perfect matchup for the boxing 1 inbound set. Nice feed down low from Scott. She threw the goggles on Meggie as she hit the perfect bounce pass down low to Stevens for the land. So it might have been, they scored that on the board to Troxel. That might have been Troxel. I saw Stevens running down the floor. They were in the same spot. Troxel with the 2 instead. Makes it 32-12. Here's Jones. Scarlet Hawks just trying to get something to build on here in the second quarter. That won't help as Sanderford gets the offensive board. Is fouled as Jaden Hill got 2 hands around the waist of Sanderford as she started to drive inside. And that'll lead to Scarlet Hawks sideline inbound. Pair of subs here for Wisconsin Lutheran. Courtney Park, number 41, the first-year player out of Rockford, Illinois, attended Rockford Christian Life. Into the ball game here. Here's Rusing. Bit of a right-left shake for the Scarlet Hawks, but that's how you should do it. She put the ball down. Good enough. On the spin, turnaround jumper, missed everything, right into the hands of Margie Stevens. Stevens won Player of the Week on January the 21st in the NAC Conference. But the Player of the Week from a few weeks ago gets tied up. Possession will stay with Wisconsin Lutheran. As Goodenough comes off the floor for the Scarlet Hawks. Anna Jones back in. Jones, a sophomore out of Alexandria, Virginia. Inbound here for Wisconsin Lutheran. Comes right in for an easy layup. Haley Ott. Haley Ott literally just caught that ball and went right to work on the low block. Makes it 34-12. Ott now with 6. Illinois Tech just stagnant offensively, trying to adjust to the zone. No easy drives. Sanderford picked up her dribble. They go inside to Anna Jones. That's well off the glass. Rebounded by Wisconsin Lutheran. Haley Ott, who just scored last time down, rebound on the defensive to wrap up the defensive possession. Here's that ball movement again. Stevens knifing through the Scarlet Hawks defense. Missed it off the glass. Rebounded by Rusing. First-year player out of Austin, Texas is Rusing. Bucci calls for the screen from Jones. Bucci with a right-hand floater off the glass. Jones was open on the roll. Bucci went for it herself. Not really the wrong play either way they went there. Bucci had a good look, just couldn't get it to go. Sanderford with good hands knocks the ball loose. Rusing with defenders in pursuit. Nice left-right step through off the glass and good for Barrett Rusing, who kisses one off the glass as Illinois Tech gets their second basket of the quarter, about 3.5 minutes apart between their first and second. Camden Joko with the first. Nice drive inside, and here's the layup for Park. Troxel went down in the lane, no whistle. But an assist for would be one of the more unorthodox assists for Troxel as she fell down looking for a foul, but Park scored nonetheless. Jones driving downhill, kicks it out to Rusing. They try to post Jones up against Park. Rusing on the drive. Great defense there by Stevens to get a hand. Couldn't quite draw the tie up. Bucci misses her three. Rebounded by Lexi Smith. Smith, a junior out of Brandon, Wisconsin. And Wisconsin Lutheran will take a 30-second timeout. 4:34 to go here in the half. Wisconsin Lutheran leads at 36-14. It's only a 30-second timeout, but we'll take a quick breather with them here, and we'll return with more Illinois Tech women's basketball after a quick huff and puff on the other side of this break. Maybe about 2 or 3 huff and puffs before we came back here to the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Wisconsin Lutheran still with a 36-14 lead. Chris Rouse here on the call at the Keating Sports Center in Chicago. This is Illinois Tech women's basketball. The Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors looking for their 12th straight win. Right now with a 36-14 lead over the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks, looking to avoid their 6th straight loss. But in this first half, it's been all Wisconsin Lutheran. And remember, Illinois Tech will have one more home game. That'll be a part of a men and women doubleheader next Saturday, the 17th, where the women will play at 1, the men will play at 3:15. We'll have that for you right here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Hoganson, the Park, that was great interior ball movement against the zone. Leisman sort of forgot where she was as she tried to pass the Park and threw it off the bottom of the backboard. Joko, right elbow. Over to Rusing and Silo. Rusing decided to take it. Rusing off the glass. Barrett Rusing with the last 4 for Illinois Tech. A couple of banks off the glass for Rusing. Cleared the bank open late here for Barrett. As Hoganson swings it around. Leisman. Good defense by Rusing. Outside jumper off the rim. Rebounded by Jones. Here come the Scarlet Hawks. Lexi Smith on the miss. Joko around the screen, guarded by Smith. Joko to Marino. They punch it down low to Jones. Anna Jones, good use of her feet to kick it out to Joko. Tightrope in the baseline. 3 on the way from Joko is off the rim. Rebounded by Park. You can say Park got that board. She tapped it over to Leisman. Scott. The clear-cut point guard of this Wisconsin Lutheran team is Maggie Scott. A few beautiful assists early on this evening. Hoganson to Scott. Great feed, right on cue. Thank you for making me look good, 22. As she feeds it right down low to Leisman. That was a beautiful 2-hand chest pass right overhead to the awaiting scorer, Leisman. That's so reliable, the leading scorer for this Warrior team. Rusing feeds it back down to Jones. Jones, nice step inside. That's the best positioning Anna Jones has had here in the early going. Illinois Tech has tried to feed Jones early down low. You can hear them saying, feed the post, give her the ball. That's one of the first times she's really had a good shooting spot after catching the ball down low. Park surrounded by Scarlet Hawks. Scott around the horn for Smith for three. Off the rim. Hoganson ran from the corner around Rusing and got the rebound. And Wisconsin Lutheran will maintain possession as Anna Jones was called for the foul. 6 new players in. Line changes for both teams. So 3 came in for the Scarlet Hawks, 3 came in for Wisconsin Lutheran. I see Stevens, I see Hill, and I also see for the first time Janiyah Garner, number 32, in for Wisconsin Lutheran. Ball goes down low to Stevens. Stevenson partially blocked by Goodenough. Jones tried to knock it away. Hoganson. Back to Jaden Hill. Hill getting huge minutes off the bench, sort of the 6th woman for this Warrior team. Garner with a nice feed, but the layup missed by Stevens. That's unfortunate for Garner. That was a beautiful assist. Under 2 minutes to go in the half. Bucci, guarded by Garner. Jones, looking for Bucci. That pass almost got away from Julia. Instead, Julia took it baseline, missed everything. Rebounded by Jaden Hill. Hill into the front court. Feeding Stevens. Stevens sort of lost the ball. Bucci also got a hand on it, which sort of threw everybody off as everyone thought the ball fell down. Bucci just knocked it out of traffic. Camden Joko. Over to Jones. Jones falls down. And Illinois Tech's offense sort of just got stagnant. They were looking for Kaya Jones to drive. Now Silla will get a top of the key 3. She can cash those out, but unfortunately insufficient funds there. Rebounded by Wisconsin Lutheran. Jaden Hill. Oh, nice right-left crossover. Unfortunately, she stopped on the dime. I thought Hill could have finished it herself. She feeds Stevens, who got the lay-in. There are other basketball courts here in the Keating Center. One of the shot clocks went off elsewhere. That sort of threw everyone in the gym off, but except the players, and plus the ball went through the basket anyway. 40-18. Wisconsin Lutheran with the lead, 39.5 seconds to go in the half. Coach Sane and the coaching staff for the Scarlet Hawks yelling out instructions. Joko into Jones. Jones to Joko. Best look for Joko so far, and Camden cashed it in. Kaya Jones ran through Mac Hoganson, and that freed Joko up for the 3. The official said it was a fair space play there as they ran each other over, whereas Jones ran her over. And now Wisconsin Lutheran going to hold for the last shot, about a half-second differential, so the ball will have to go up, and the shot clock is on. Scott to Stevens. Hoganson over to Garner. Scott with her best look of the night. Wide open 3. You love to see that. Meggie Scott has been feeding teammates all game. It's finally her turn, and 22 gives Wisconsin Lutheran the lead of just that many points. 43-21, 22-point advantage for the Warriors as we go to the break here in Chicago. Second half action here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network coming from Chicago after this break on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. Back here at the Keating Center in Chicago, Illinois. This is Illinois Tech women's basketball on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and also on YouTube Live. Chris Rouse courtside at the Keating Center, where the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors have a 43-21 advantage over the home team, the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Wisconsin Lutheran with an 11-game winning streak, Illinois Tech with a 5-game losing streak. And right now it looks like the streaks are trending towards continuing for both teams. That would be an unfortunate circumstance for the Scarlet Hawks, but it was also unfortunate how well they shot the ball in that first half. They shot 32% from the field at the Scarlet Hawks, 8 of 25, 2 of 10 from 3, that's 20%, and 3 of 4 at the free throw line for 75%. Wisconsin Lutheran very efficient in that first half, 52%, 18 of 34 from the field, 3 of 9 from 3 at 33%. Meanwhile, Wisconsin Lutheran with a perfect 4 for 4 at the free throw line. The rebounds really hurt Illinois Tech in that first half, 25-9 in favor of Wisconsin Lutheran on the glass, including 9 offensive boards in comparison to only 2 for the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. Illinois Tech has not led at all this evening, and the 22-point deficit they face right now is currently the largest lead Wisconsin Lutheran has had. Our leading scorers to this point in the game, Sam Leisman with 10 points. No surprise there. That's the leading scorer on the roster for Coach Clay Knippel and the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. Also followed by Max Hoganson and Haley Ott, who both have 8 points apiece. Meanwhile, for the Scarlet Hawks, they have 2 players with 5, Camden Joko and Julia Bucci, and 2 players with 4, Baird Rusing and Grace Goodenough. Second half action getting ready to begin with the Scarlet Hawks on offense. As you see Joko getting in position, Silo ready to trigger the inbound. And second half action underway here at the Keating Center between the Scarlet Hawks and the Warriors. NAC women's basketball, NCAA Division III, and a bit of a shot clock issue as they're going to need 23 on the shot clock. Coming up Friday, it'll be Illinois Tech men's volleyball. They'll be taking on the Wittenberg Tigers. That'll be at 7 p.m. right here at the Keating Center. And then men's basketball on Saturday at 1 p.m. as they take on the Marion Sabres. We'll have all of that for you here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network, including a doubleheader on February the 17th, including this same Illinois Tech women's basketball team going up against the Raiders of the Milwaukee School of Engineering, or MSOE. And we'll have it all for you right here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network in these coming weeks. Wisconsin Lutheran with their first possession of the second half following a turnover. Hoganson from 3. Both teams empty on their first possession of the half. Scarlet Hawks a turnover. Wisconsin Lutheran a missed 3. Joko to Jones. Here's Allie Silo. Left, right shake, no travel. Silo wanted to go backdoor to Joko. Instead, reverses the floor to Bucci. Bucci to Goodenough. That's her spot. Good release, but she left it short. Great touch off the hand, but just not enough lift to get it over the rim. It's one of those things where if you know jump shots, it looks like that ball was going in. It's just when it got to the rim, didn't have enough air. Stevens over to the corner, 3 on the way. Off the rim, run down here by Leisman. Leisman to Hoganson. I thought they were going to feed Stevens down. Oh, they do feed Stevens. It's Meggie Scott who feeds Stevens down low for the easy lay-in. 22 finding 44. And now Wisconsin Lutheran with 45 on the board, 45-21. Stevens with 4. 44 with 4 points. Silo. Cross court to Jones. Into the quarter to Joko. Illinois Tech trying to get a 2-woman game going with their 2 guards, Joko and Jones, but it's just not enough space. Jones with 6 on the shot clock. Back up top to Silo. Silo trying to beat the shot clock at 3. She cashes in a 3. This Allie Silo. That makes it a 21-point deficit for the Scarlet Hawks. As now a bit of a jolt of energy shoots through the Scarlet Hawks bench following that made basket for Silo. She splashed that in. Scott. Down to Stevens. Cross-court pass. Hoganson, 3 on the way. Mac Hoganson with 11. That leads the way for Wisconsin Lutheran. And their lead, 24, currently doubling up the Scarlet Hawks on the board, 48-24. Joko on the drive. Bucci. Stopped on the dime, almost traveled, kicked it back out to Jones. Silo, another three. Heat check, sort of, off the rim. Rebounded by Leisman. Leisman down low to Stevens. Baseline jumper, almost a why not jumper. She realized I'm wide open, and Bucci didn't jump out. So Stevens just let it fly. She has 6, 2 baskets from the quarter from R.G. Stevens. Silo to Bucci. Good enough working down low. And a foul. Sam Leisman in disbelief after she got called for the hit on the wrist. First foul on the senior out of Fall River, Wisconsin. And now Goodenough will go to the line for the Scarlet Hawks. 50-24 the score, as you can see on your screen here. And another pair of subs here for Wisconsin Lutheran. As now Goodenough, the 71% free throw shooter entering the game, goes to the line and hits the first. Grace Goodenough now with 5 in the ball game, looking to make it 6. Ball in the air, and got every part of the rim to get that 6th point. Makes it 50-26. At what point, that's a question that remains to be answered now. At what point will Illinois Tech extend the defense? You're down 24. Usually you're aiming to try to get it down to 15 in the third, and then you want to try to get it to 10 in this early in the fourth to start extending the defense. But right now, Wisconsin Lutheran taking the air out of the ball with some of these lengthy possessions. Stevens down low to Leisman. Couldn't make the reverse. Got her own rebound. Missed again. Got her own rebound. Leisman still working. Finds Stevens. She's going to try to take it herself. She missed. 3 chances at the rim for the Warriors, but they were unable to come away with a point. Owning the offensive board are the Warriors. Rusing. Cross court to Marino. That was almost a turnover. Abigail Marino on the drive. Stopped at the elbow. Out to Bucci. Lexi Smith, if she would have turned around, would have had a steal. Didn't need to do that. She drew the traveling violation by moving her feet. And with 5:59 to go, a traveling violation to turn it over to Wisconsin Lutheran. 13 offensive rebounds in the game for the Warriors. They lead the rebound battle 31-11. 13-2 on the offensive glass. 18-9 on the defensive. Smith. Cross court. Hoganson. Just back and forth. Cross court skip passing for Wisconsin Lutheran. And no threat of hands from the Scarlet Hawks as Stevens just steps through the defense for a lay-in. Again, doubling up on the scoreboard, 52-26. Nice fake by Rusing. Unfortunately, couldn't finish for the Scarlet Hawks. Rebounded by Wisconsin Lutheran. Lexi Smith, cross court to Hoganson. Unselfish play by Hoganson to feed Hill. I was certain Hoganson was going to let that one fly. Instead, she gave it up. They were going to try to find Mac Hoganson after all, but Barrett Rusing with the deflection. Kaya Jones and Camden Joko in for the Scarlet Hawks, placing Rusing and Bucci. And now Mickey Scott back out there for Wisconsin Lutheran. Maggie Scott, to this point of the ball game, has played 19 minutes. She has 10 assists to go with 5 points. Here is Scott. Scott looking for another assist, finds Hill. She just rifled that thing through traffic, and you love to see the point from the scorer back to the passer. As Hill said, good look, Meggie. 11th assist of the evening for Scott. Marino guarded over to Joko, who's guarded by Scott. Sanderford now picked up by Hill. Joko down to the left baseline. Cross-court skip pass, almost intercepted. Instead deflected out of bounds by Haley Ott. Scarlet Hawks will get his sideline inbound with 7 on the shot clock. Rael Sanderford, the first-year player out of Crown Point, Indiana, triggers it in. Joko, left-hand scoop off the glass. No good, rebounded by Jones. And then Anna tried to kick it out to Kaya Jones. Almost a steal. Instead, here's Sanderford. Sanderford down to the right corner. Scarlet Hawks sort of stagnant on the backside of the ball, and as a result, Marino gets it stolen away. And now tries to steal it back. Instead, Marino pick up a foul in the backcourt. First foul against Abigail Marino. Marino and Jones will come out. Also, Baird Rusing looking like she's going to rush to the table for Illinois Tech. Meanwhile, Meggie Scott will trigger the inbound here. 11 assists in the game for 22 in green. As now Wisconsin Lutheran, after a brief shot clock discrepancy, will trigger the inbound here with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Troxel. Down low to Leisman. Cross court to Scott. Scott looking to pass as soon as she touches it. Leisman takes it inside and a foul. That was a great effort by Leisman. The spin move, and she was just welcoming to the physicality was Leisman. She spun right into a double team. And despite the fact she had about 4 arms trying to deter her from scoring, she drew the foul. And now Leisman, the leading scorer on the season for Wisconsin Lutheran, hits the first. She averages 16 a game. Only 9 in this game for Leisman. But this free throw will get her into double digits at 10. And it extends the Wisconsin Lutheran lead to 30. 56-26. Joko over to Jones. Good enough. Joko cross-court skip to Rusing. Rusing missing everything over the basket, right into the hands of Leisman. Up the court to Scott. Nice feed to Hill. A little bit too high. They kick it out for 3. Troxel unable to hit. Leisman lost it off her own foot out of bounds to Illinois Tech. Leisman in this ball game, in 19 minutes played, has a double-double, 12 points, 11 rebounds. Meggie Scott, in 21 minutes played, 5 points, 11 assists. Illinois Tech with 2 minutes leaders, Jones and Bucci. They played 20, but it's Grace Goodenough with 6 points in 18 minutes, leading the way for the Scarlet Hawks. Here's Joko. Over to Jones. Rusing directing traffic. Trying to get it down low to Goodenough. Goodenough over to Kaya Jones. Joko eluding Smith. Back to Jones. Joko and Jones playing hot potato in basically the same spot. Not really a good trip again for the Scarlet Hawks. When they go to that 2-woman game with the 2 guards, just a lot of wrap and passing to the same spot from Jones and Joko. Led to a missed 3. Spent about 8 seconds just passing to the same spot. There's Scott, who buries a 3. That's 8 for Scott. Her next field goal will give her a double-double along with Leisman. Remember, already 11 assists for Scott. Rusing. Well defended by Hill. Hill has been huge off the bench. The sophomore out of Kenosha, Wisconsin. Kaya Jones on the drive. Pull-up jumper off the heel of the rim. Rebounded here by Troxel. Troxel pushing the floor. Smith, one of the better shooters in the NAC, decides to go against her strength. More ball movement. The ball is just going around the horn. Scott to Smith, wide open look. Why not? That was beautiful ball movement. The Warriors worked the ball around the horn about twice, and then they kicked it back over. And before they worked it around the horn for the 3rd time, Smith just finally decided to let it fly. Here's Rusing. Rusing, nice reverse layup. Long over the basket. Rebounded by Wisconsin Lutheran. Coach Chris is saying she wanted more time, meaning more passes, more motion. Scott for 3 and a double-double. Couldn't get that one to go. Rebound, Hill, who just said, hey, that's bouncing off the rim. Nobody's there. I'll flare to that spot, and Jayden Hill, sophomore out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, with another lay-in. Wisconsin Lutheran has been thoroughly in control of this one. And as a result, Chris is saying, with 1:05 to go in the third, to take a timeout. 63-26 the score. It's a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here at the Keating Center. The third quarter coming to an end in 1:05, and we'll take a break then. But the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors, it's been all Warriors this evening, 37-13 on the glass. They lead by 37. That's the largest lead they've had all evening. And this is just a team that's won, as I mentioned, 11 straight games. And listen to some of these scores. in this 11-game win streak. The last time they lost was December the 20th. That was at the Daytona Beach shootout, but they won 72-59 on December the 21st. And then they won 54-44 over St. Norbert, 42-28 over MSOE, 86-37 over Lakeland. 10-point win over Rockford, 9-point win over Aurora was the closest opponent they've had in this win streak. And then, actually an 8-point win over Concordia, Wisconsin last time out was the closest opponent they had prior to after the 9-point win against Aurora. And then they had 20-point blowout against Benedictine, 74-28 against Concordia, 79-47 against Marion, 79-26 against Dominican, and then the 8-point win against Concordia, Wisconsin was the closest opponent they've had in this 11-game winning streak. Illinois Tech not looking like they're going to threaten Concordia, Wisconsin's effort in terms of opponents' efforts on this, what looks like it will be a 12-game winning streak for Wisconsin Lutheran. We got a fourth quarter still to go here, but it is all Warriors with another 10 minutes to play. Bucci, a quick fire three. Off the glass, off the rim, and right in the hands of Margie Stevens. Maggie Scott into the front court. Final possession of the third quarter. Scott to Troxel. Troxel was open, thought about the shot. She will take it after all. Got the roll in the third quarter. The Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors lead it by 41. It's 67-26 as we get ready to begin the fourth quarter on the other side of this break here at the Keating Sports Center. This is Illinois Tech women's basketball on Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. We'll be back for fourth quarter action in Chicago after this break. This is Illinois Tech women's basketball here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. It's been a rough night for the Scarlet Hawks, trailing 67-26 at the hands of the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. This is the fifth all-time meeting between these programs. The most recent meeting was on February the 11th, 2023, so not quite a year ago, but in a few days it will have been. It was a 94-38 win for Wisconsin Lutheran last season. It was Sam Leisman who had 17. Haley Ott had 11 in those affairs, or in that affair last year. And then in this affair, Leisman and Ott, key contributors again, as Wisconsin Lutheran now leads by 41. Janiyah Garner back in for Wisconsin Lutheran. Came in briefly at the end of the first half and gets an assist. Actually, may not get an assist. That was deflected by the Scarlet Hawks into the hands of, who did I just mention? Haley Ott, who gets the score. Haley Ott had 11 when these teams met last season. Ott now is going to get 9, but missed that one. Excuse me, going to get Ott with 10, I should say. They didn't update the stats here in the building. Ott with 10 of the ball game was looking to match her point total last season. Was unable to hit it anyway, and now the Scarlet Hawks in game possession. Camden Joko, 2-3 zone here for Wisconsin Lutheran. Good enough. Good enough working down low. Nice move inside by Good enough off the glass. Missed it. Rebounded by Haley Ott. Great defense from Wisconsin Lutheran. Ott. Back out to Mac Hoganson. Stevens. Hoganson, 3 on the way. In and out for Hoganson. Run down by Haley Ott. Great effort again from Ott. She came from the left wing to deflect the ball and ended up with the rebound. Ball around the perimeter again for Wisconsin Lutheran. Beautiful bounce pass inside, feeding Ott, who missed it. Rebounded by Sillo. Sillo up to Joko. Sillo looking down low to Good enough, but Scarlet Hawks offense sort of stood in place once the pass never arrived. Good enough, working down low again, knocks it in. Grace Good enough taking that right at the defender for another 2. floats it in off the rim. 69-28. Margie Stevens. Stevens up top to Hoganson. Hoganson to Garner. Pull-up jumper. Great shot there from Janiyah Garner, junior out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 71-28. Garner gets in the scorebook there. Grace good enough. Working down low. Good enough again. Off the glass. Rebounded by Wisconsin Lutheran. And here comes Garner pushing up the court. Garner, nice feed to Stevens. And a ball fake to Lou Bucci, who sort of overcommitted to that ball fake. Stevens didn't really show too much flash or speed on the ball fake. Looked like Bucci, if she would have shown more defensive discipline, probably could have raked the ball away or blocked the shot. But instead, life goes on as it was. And a foul. 73-28 the score. Coach Carissa Sane has been giving directions to her team all game long. We get a number of subs here from both teams. Bucci, Joko, good enough to the bench for the Scarlet Hawks. Also a pair for Wisconsin Lutheran to the sideline. Marin Reeson came in, number 33 for the first time for Wisconsin Lutheran. She ran right to the corner. That was Kala Treader, who was the intended target of the post feed. Ott, the recipient of the pass from the corner. Ball stolen away by Illinois Tech. Here's Kaya Jones up to Baird Rusing. Sandiford. Over to Jones. Jones on the drive. Kicks it out to Rusing. Rusing with a pull-up jumper. That's off the side of the glass. Rebounded by Wisconsin Lutheran. Rusing couldn't believe she shot that one off the side of the backboard. Here's Garner. Thought she was going to go for the reverse layup. And before we get to see a three-pointer attempted from Wisconsin Lutheran, Marin Reeson steps out of bounds on the corner line, and that has turned it over to Illinois Tech. Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks Athletics will return to YouTube Live and Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network on Friday. Men's volleyball against the Wittenberg Tigers. Right here at the Keating Sports Center. Ali Sillo for 3. That volleyball matchup will be 7 p.m. Friday. And then men's basketball in NAC conference play. Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks against the Marion Sabres. 1 p.m. right here at the Keating Sports Center in Chicago. Madison Lineback into the ball game for Wisconsin Lutheran. She had the ball briefly, passed it over to Treader, who missed, rebounded by the Scarlet Hawks. Rusing to Jones. Jones, a line drive off the rim, shot it over the 6'2" defender, Madison Lineback. Lineback pursuing. I thought she was going to come to the ball. Instead, she cleared out for Garner, but it's rebounded by Jones. Jones over to Sillo, left corner, off the rim. Run down by Garner. Free-flowing style here in this fourth quarter. You got Wisconsin Lutheran with a lot of the players that are reserves, back of the bench players, getting some valuable game minutes. There's nothing like real game reps, playing against a team that doesn't know the play. Because even in practice, your teammates still know the play. They still know what to expect. You're basically trying to learn to play and also learn to defend against yourself. So nothing like live game reps for a number of these reserves. Here for the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. Kaya Jones' jumper is no good. Rebounded by Anna Jones. That's no good. Ball loose on the floor, and a tie-up between Kala Treader and Jones. 4 subs for the Scarlet Hawks. Bucci, Joko, Marino, and good enough. And now Wisconsin Lutheran had a pair of players come on, but now everyone's going to come off as we get a timeout with 4:49 to go here in the game. We'll take a break. We'll return to the Keating Sports Center after this. This is Illinois Tech women's basketball on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. 73-28 the score. Wisconsin Lutheran with the lead here in Chicago. Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks trailing 73-28 here in the fourth quarter. Scarlet Hawks on the verge of falling to 3-7 at home here at the Keating Center in the 2023-24 season. They have one final try to get a win here, one more win here at the Keating Center. That'll be on Saturday, February the 17th. A basketball doubleheader beginning with the women taking on the MSOE Raiders at 1 p.m. And then the men will be in action wrapping up their home slate, actually wrapping up their season against the Rockford Regents at 3:15. That'll be February the 17th. Illinois Tech basketball doubleheader, 1 p.m. and 3:15 p.m. on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. Chris Rouse here in Chicago as Barrett Rusing turns it over to Janiyah Garner of Wisconsin Lutheran. Garner up to Jaden Hill, who had a hard time hanging on to the ball, even harder time passing it as it was deflected away. Kala Treader down low, nice feed. Treader across the paint, finds Reeson, who's fouled. Marin Reeson, the first-year player out of Watertown, Wisconsin. She was fouled by Goodenough. And now Reeson will look to try to complete the three-point play. And Reeson unsuccessful in doing so. Meanwhile, Lineback using that 6'2" height to her advantage. A few volleyball taps to herself, but taken away by the Scarlet Hawks. Marino. Scarlet Hawks want to feed it down low. Ball booted out of play. No kick ball. It'll stay with the Scarlet Hawks. No intentional kick. I like to show a strategy here from Coach Clay Knipple of Wisconsin Lutheran, going with Lineback here, getting the player with size, go 6'2", to sort of stop Illinois Tech from feeding the inside here. They were going to Grace Goodenough against some of the other reserves on this Wisconsin Lutheran bench. But now with Lineback, that's making it tougher for Goodenough, but she still managed to score around the big 6-footer. 75-30 with Janiyah Garner. That's a nice drive. Cross-court pass. Treader pull up, short. Lineback right under the rim, using all of that 6'2" height again to get an easy board, easy layup, just put it right back up and in. Lineback with two, her first two of the night. 77-30. Illinois Tech's number 2. That was Joko who fed Bucci. Rusing to Marino. 3 on the way from Marino. And Illinois Tech's number 3 cashes in a 3. First 3 of the night from Abby. And Abigail Marino gives Illinois Tech 33 on the scoreboard. They trail by 44. Wisconsin Lutheran's 32. Garner out top to Hill. Nice drive. That's a strong take to the basket by Jaden Hill. That was one catch, 2 strong power dribbles, and she just laid it in with the left hand. Some of the younger players on this Wisconsin Lutheran team, reasons to be impressed. Jaden Hill's been playing very well all game, and there's another exhibit of the performance Jaden Hill has had. Great hands defensively from Hill. Another strong power drive. Good help defense from Bucci. Good help defense from Bucci over the top. Rusing, good hands, and a foul will stop a possible breakout as Kala Treader and Rusing sort of bump legs there with 2:30 to go in the game. The story of this game, honestly, if you want a real X and O reason, it's got to be rebounds for Illinois Tech. Totally dominated on the glass. I remember early on in the game, I heard Coach Carissa Sane say to her team during one of the timeouts, they are just dominating us on the boards. 49-18 is the rebound number. Are the numbers on the rebound battle right now in favor of Wisconsin Lutheran? And here's a steal. Hill to the basket. Long. That'll help Illinois Tech with another rebound. They're 19th. Plus 30 in the rebound battle for Wisconsin Lutheran. 49-19. Good enough. To Rusing through traffic. Got it to go as she scored over Lineback as we enter the final 2 minutes. As Wisconsin Lutheran, got to be proud of this performance if you're a team like Wisconsin Lutheran looking for your 12th straight win. And honestly, at this point, when the win streak gets to be this big, you just got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. And when you look at the records, 16-4 versus 4-16, the team that's 16-4 is doing what they're supposed to do this evening, leading by 44. Well, what is next for this Wisconsin Lutheran team? how far can this streak go? Well, tonight, it'll go to 12. They'll take on Alverno, the Inferno, on Saturday, try to go to 13. How fitting that Valentine's Day, the 14th, will be their attempt to get 14 in a row against Edgewood. And then, if possible, they'll take on the Marion Sabres at home on Senior Day, February the 17th, Michael Jordan's birthday, a chance to go 15 in a row against the Marion Sabres. But, of course, I have to continue to take care of business the rest of the way. Not much business left to be taken care of here in Chicago with 50 and 3/10 seconds to go. As there's another jumper from Marin Reeson, makes it 81-35. The zone defense continues for Wisconsin Lutheran, and we got a whistle. Meanwhile, for Illinois Tech, we've mentioned it numerous times throughout the broadcast, throughout the show. Take on MSOE on February the 17th in their final game of the season. On the 10th, they'll take on Marion. They'll be on the road, however, with the Scarlet Hawks as they head to Fond du Lac. And then on Wednesday, they too will take on the Alverno Inferno on Valentine's Day. That'll be at 7 p.m. up in Milwaukee. 3 games left for the Scarlet Hawks following the final 40.5 seconds of this one, making it 81-36. We appreciate you all for joining us this evening in Chicago, and for joining us all week long, if possible, here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network. But this one going to go in the book as a Wisconsin Lutheran win, and it was all Warriors. They averaged 73 in this winning streak. They have 81 right now. And a foul as Lineback got the ball down low. And what a performance again for the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors. Plus 30 on the glass tonight, 50-20. They have 4 players in double figures. Stevens with 16, Leisman with 12, Hoganson with 11, Ott with 10. Maggie Scott did not get double figures in scoring, but in 24 minutes played, the most of any Wisconsin Lutheran Warrior, she had 12 assists to go 8 points. Jaden Hill goes baseline and loses it out of bounds. That'll go to the Scarlet Hawks. Jaden Hill thought she got fouled, but looks like the official's going to put the whistle in the pocket here with 15.5 seconds to go. Let's see what the Scarlet Hawks do as Joko dribbles into the front court at lightning speed. Pass to Bucci, to Sillo. 6 seconds to go. Sillo bank off the glass, unable to get it to fall. Rebounded by Hill. And with 6 points and 6 rebounds, that'll conclude the night for Jaden Hill and everyone else on the floor as the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors get an 81-36 win over the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks. That is 12 straight wins for the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors as they got 4 in double figures, and then Maggie Scott had 12 assists to go with 8 points. So once again, the final, Wisconsin Lutheran 81, Illinois Tech 36, and that'll wrap it up for our presentation of Illinois Tech women's basketball here from the Keating Center in Chicago. Remember, men's volleyball in action Friday at 7 p.m. and then men's basketball in action Saturday at 1. And we'll have all of that for you right here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and on YouTube Live. But for all of our crew here in Chicago, I'm Chris Rouse. Once again, our final, the Wisconsin Lutheran Warriors 81, the Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks 36. This has been Illinois Tech Scarlet Hawks women's basketball here on the Scarlet Hawks Broadcast Network and YouTube Live. For all of our crew, good evening from Chicago.